Texas home to cowboys, oil rigs, and earthquakes? That's right. While the Lone Star State isn't as famous for quakes as California, it has a surprising seismic history. Today, we're diving into the history of earthquakes in Texas, from ancient tremors to modern-day fracking-related shakes. Let's get started. Texas doesn't sit on a major fault line like the San Andreas, but it has experienced earthquakes for centuries. One of the earliest recorded quakes happened in 1847 near the town of Seguin, with reports of shaking dishes and cracked walls. Then, in 1882, a stronger quake estimated at a magnitude 4.8 hit near Austin, causing minor damage. At the time, many Texans were shocked. They didn't even know earthquakes could happen here. Most early Texas quakes were natural, caused by slow-moving faults deep underground. But fast forward to the 20th century, and things started changing. In the 1920s and 30s, Texas's booming oil industry began altering the land. By the 1950s, scientists noticed a strange trend: earthquakes near oil and gas drilling sites. One of the biggest was the 1931 Valentine earthquake, a magnitude 6.0 that rattled West Texas. But for decades, quakes remained rare until a game-changer arrived: hydraulic fracturing, or fracking. Starting in the 2000s, Texas saw a dramatic spike in earthquakes, especially around the Dallas-Fort Worth area and West Texas. Why? Many scientists link it to wastewater injection from fracking, which can lubricate old faults and trigger quakes. In 2008, the town of Cleburne had its first recorded earthquake right near drilling sites. Then, between 2013 and 2016, Azle, Texas, experienced over 30 quakes, some strong enough to crack foundations. We never had earthquakes here before the drilling started. Now my house shakes at night. Texas officials and companies have debated the cause, but studies by the USGS and universities confirm that wastewater disposal wells increase quake risk. In November 2022, West Texas was hit by a magnitude 5.4 quake near Mentone, one of the strongest in decades. Then, in late 2023, a swarm of quakes shook the Permian Basin, a major oil region. Texas now averages hundreds of small quakes a year, far more than in the past. Will Texas keep shaking? Experts say yes, especially if wastewater injection continues. Some towns have tightened regulations, but with Texas's economy tied to oil, the debate isn't going away. On the bright side, better monitoring helps predict and prepare for quakes. And who knows, maybe one day, Texas will be as famous for earthquakes as it is for barbecue. The state of Texas has been rocked by over a dozen earthquakes in just the last day, with one measuring over 3.0 on the Richter scale. The U.S. Geological Survey, USGS, reported that the latest quake struck just north of Odessa, Texas at 8:14 a.m. Central Time. Just 15 minutes earlier, a 3.5 magnitude earthquake struck roughly 30 miles east of Odessa. Since 4 a.m. Central Time on Wednesday, Texas has experienced 16 minor earthquakes, all along the central and western parts of the state. In April alone, USGS has recorded 36 earthquakes in this part of Texas, stretching from Stanton, Texas, 41 miles northeast of Odessa, to Culberson County along the state's western border with New Mexico. It continues to be a seismically active year for all of Texas, which has also seen record-setting quakes in the southern part of the state. On March 10, a 3.0 magnitude earthquake struck less than 50 miles south of San Antonio. Historically, earthquakes had been a rare event in South Texas, until this year. On January 29, a near-historic magnitude 4.5 earthquake was felt in San Antonio, followed by a 3.6 tremor 2 days later. The 4.5 earthquake was the third strongest quake in South Texas history, behind a 4.8 magnitude earthquake in 2011 and a 4.7 quake in February 2024. Seismic activity above 2.5 in magnitude can often be felt and cause minor damage. As for what's causing this earthquake swarm in West Texas, the answer may actually be man-made. Odessa sits in the Permian Basin, a major oil and gas production region for the state. That area is also completely clear of major fault lines, like the ones in California that could cause major devastation. Cities like Odessa, Stanton, and Midland are all in the rich oil drilling area, which only has smaller faults that usually get discovered when oil activity ramps up. Texas is the biggest producer of crude oil and natural gas in the U.S., based on an assessment of 2023 data by the U.S. Energy Information Administration. The state is known for its extensive use of fracking, or the process of extracting oil and gas from deep underground by blasting large quantities of water, chemicals, and sand into rock formations to crack them open and release the fuels trapped inside. Fracking is not usually the direct cause of an earthquake. It is actually the process of disposing wastewater produced through fracking that can trigger tremors. This wastewater is injected into disposal wells that typically operate for longer periods of time and receive much more fluid than is injected into the ground during the fracking process, making them more likely to produce earthquakes, according to the USGS. It is believed that the US has more liquid gold under our feet than any nation on Earth. I fully authorize the most talented team ever assembled to go and get it. By unleashing American energy, we will defeat inflation and dramatically lower costs. It's called Drill Baby Drill. Recently, researchers explained how more drilling could end up leading to more seismic activity in the state. They believe deep injection wells, in particular, are linked to higher magnitude earthquakes, whereas shallower injections seem to be less hazardous in terms of large seismic events. Others don't know yet if this aggressive drilling in the Permian Basin will create problems and increase the seismic risk. Maybe yes, maybe no. USGS noted that the largest earthquake known to be induced by hydraulic fracturing in the U.S. was a magnitude 4.0 earthquake that occurred in 2018 in Texas. To this point, only today's 3.4 magnitude quake has come close to approaching that level of disturbance. A 2022 study by the University of Texas at Austin concluded that 68% of Texas quakes above magnitude 1.5 were highly associated with oil and gas production. So, did you know Texas had such a shaky past? Let me know in the comments if you've ever felt a Texas earthquake. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more fascinating history and science videos. See you next time.